Hey guys, my name is SickaBOT1 and welcome back to Kirby's Dream Collection. We did Kirby's Dream Land last video and we are moving into Kirby's Adventure, which I personally consider my favorite Kirby game for a number of reasons. I know that other Kirby games later on, especially Superstar, did a lot to expand upon Kirby's mechanics and made them more smooth, made them more fun in a way, but I have a soft spot for Kirby's Adventure for a number of reasons. Like, I own this on so many platforms. I have it on Wii Virtual Console. I have it on... Okay. How do I reset this? There we go. That's the intro we all know and love. Anyway, as I was saying, I own Kirby's Adventure on so many platforms. I own it on the Wii Virtual Console. I own it on the Wii U Virtual Console. I bought it again. I own Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland, which is a remake of this game, also on the Wii U Virtual Console. I own the 3D Classics version of this game on 3DS, which is it's the same game, but with prettied up 3D graphics. And I think, despite the lack of suspend points with other 3DS Virtual Console games, I think that's the optimal way to play the game because it looks beautiful. I mean, Nightmare in Dreamland also looks beautiful for the Game Boy Advance, but as far as the original game goes, the optimal way to play it would be on 3D Classics. I also have an NES Classic, which does have this game, thankfully. And, of course, the Dream Collection, which is what I'm playing this on. So let's get going into the best Kirby game, don't at me. Vegetable Valley. Now, the reason I love this game so much, despite some of the datedness, like some of the way that some of the powers are split, the way that Kirby inhales and jumps, the reason that I love this game so much is because I can appreciate just how much it did for Kirby. You can dash, you can absorb powers and slow the game to a crawl, I guess. Hold on, let me just close some windows. Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess and hope that that was what was causing the game to chug, and not all the sprites on the screen, or just my fault, my recording setup. I love the powers. I think that the level design is great. It teaches young gamers platforming. It's not too challenging. Most problems can be overcome by floating. It'll encourage this exploration. I think that the secrets are very well hidden, not frustrating to any degree, but still very clever and make you feel kind of smart for figuring out what combination of powers you need. I mean, if you have basic common sense, you should be able to figure out some of the secrets of this game. Some of them, like one in particular, is really cryptic, but because I've played this game so many times, I know it's coming and can actually just deal with it. I love how the game pushes you to experiment with all sorts of different power-ups. I love the art style. I love how this was able to do so much with the NES. I mean, when you compare this to early NES games, such as Super Mario Bros., for instance, you can see how far Kirby's Adventure had come, because I think at the time this came out, the NES was almost 10 years old. Like, I guess it was 8 years old at the time. Maybe, did the NES come out in 1985? I don't know why I'm defaulting it to 1983. I think 1983 is actually when the video game crash happened. Whatever, this was all before my time, so I'm a little spotty on the details. Anyway, another staple that this game introduced, we got mini-games. You know, most, if not all, Kirby games come with their own set of special mini-games that you can play, sometimes multiplayer, sometimes solo, and they can help you get extra lives sometimes. And sometimes they can just be fun diversions from the main game with some unique mechanics. The crane game can be a little tricky, though. I mean, I don't usually have this much trouble with the crane. I only get 2 tries, too. Ah! I figured. You get extra lives from that. So, what? That's a shame. And then Kirby's return to... Wait, like... I'm thinking too much ahead. Nightmare in Dreamland has its own set of minigames, different from the ones that Kirby's Adventure features. I may come back and play Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland at some point, but for now I'm just gonna make this about the games that you can find on the Dream Collection. Like I said, I might come back to it like with the hard mode of Kirby's Dreamland. Yeah, this is great. getting into all the... so much charm oozing out of this. We got the Poppy Bros Senior bombs. I think that you get Crash from this. Crash Bandicoot. I was talking about Crash Bandicoot while I was playing Kirby's Dream Land, and now I'm talking about Crash Bandicoot when playing Kirby's Adventure. Every episode from now on has to mention Crash Bandicoot in some way. I'm just gonna say. And here we got Crash. Yeah, like I said, Crash. I actually want to show this off, so please don't get away from me. Nah. Okay, so, like the microphone power in Kirby's Dream Land, Crash is an ability that's basically a screen wipe, and you're meant to use it here. And because of that, it is a power that you lose once you use it. Crash you can do just the once, but the mic is an objectively better version because it allows you to use it 3 times before it goes away. We'll get into mic later. In the meantime, when I get that, I guess I gotta suck it. Whatever, we don't really need that many powers early on. They're just nice to have to do with mini-bosses and the like. Later on, you will have to use specific powers in order to get secrets, which you don't need to do them to beat the game, unlike like many other Kirby games, but you do for... Okay, I'm bad at that, apparently. Maybe it's a little bit of lag. Of course I'm gonna blame lag on this, but... You might as well do them. Kirby's not a hard game, and you want that 100% completion. You want 100% on that save file, which is something I still don't have for Kirby Star Allies, because I can't do the ultimate choice on the hardest difficulty. I don't even have the hardest difficulty unlocked yet. As one of the not quite as hard difficulties, but still very, very hard. Anyway, here's a little oddity when it comes to Kirby's Adventure. Fireball and Burn and regular fire are different abilities, whereas in later Kirby games they would become the same power. Kirby's Adventure is a little primitive with its power integration, which I can understand because it was the NES and they did have certain limitations to work with, especially with the fact that its successor was actually already out by the time this came out. But I do stand by my statement that I think it's impressive what they did with the limitations of the system. You got some very distinct environments, very cute designs. Kirby pops a lot more than he did on the Game Boy. Even on the other Game Boy game that he got, Kirby's Dream Land 2, which... Obviously, I'm coming after this one, I'm alright. Give me that. Fire, yep. You got fire here, you just breathe fire, whereas Fireball, you can only dash with fire. Like I said, primitive. They didn't really get the nuance of the power system of Kirby until Kirby Superstar, where they were working with more powerful hardware, a more complex controller that could handle more complex inputs. Oh, yeah. I actually want Sword. No, not for any particular reason. I just think it'd be nice to have. Thank you for your sword. I'm King Arthur. King of the Jews. No, King of the Brits. Sorry. It was Jesus that was the King of the Jews. Yeah. Give me that. Also, can I mention, Kirby has some great music. I love Kirby music. Like, every game has some truly fantastic tracks, but I think the crowning achievement of Kirby music is actually Kirby's Epic Yarn. Seriously, there's some beautiful orchestral arrangements in that game, and it is one of the highlights of that game. It's still a great game in its own right, but the highlight of the game for me is the music. Kirby's got some great tracks behind him, not just the Gourmet Race, which is arguably the most popular, well-known Kirby song. They work hard. Masahiro Sakurai, he's a pimp. No wonder people are so excited whenever they advertise just how many music tracks there are in Smash Bros. Although I don't think the Owl's working on Smash Bros. I think that's Sakurai, and I mean, Smash started as a HAL series. I think it moved to Namco Bandai, mostly Sakurai. I feel very uneducated on the history of Smash Bros., a series that I'm very excited to experience on the Switch, for the record. Again, bring Bandana D into Smash. I'm not going to be super upset if it doesn't happen. I want to make that clear, but what I'm mostly saying is I think he would be a great addition either as a playable fighter or as an assist trophy. And, yeah. He would arguably work better as an assist trophy, but whatever. Anyway, this is Wispy Woods. Again, his fight is really no different from Kirby's Dreamland, but you can use a power on him. Usually what I like to do is I like to take Spike, which is a power we haven't seen yet, into this and just sit next to him. You won't get hit by the apples like I did there. And he goes down quickly. But also true to Kirby is that usually spitting stuff up and throwing it back at them does more damage than the power. But it doesn't matter. First level cleared, they will get longer from here on out. This was just kind of a test, in a way. Next level, Ice Cream Island. And we will be tackling that in the next episode. Take care.